California for past 9 years. Most of them probably know me as Padma Ben's daughter-in-law. That's how I'm known. But I do have my master's in public health from Loma Linda University. I have worked in many hospitals, St. Jude Hospital, Orange Coast Memorial, and I am a renal dietitian, so I work specifically with dialysis patients, and the company is DaVita. And like Nitin Uncle said, what are superfoods? So, we hear a lot about health foods, the superfoods, and, it's a big thing about Dr. Oz saying superfoods. So I thought, why not create a presentation, and especially when we're doing all these wellness challenges and when we were doing one-on-one counseling, we were encouraging people to have different kind of healthy foods, which are superfoods. In terms of just a simple example of what superfood is you take an example of blueberry. They basically are berries which are rich in vitamins and vitamin C and all the other vitamins, but on top of that they have an additional benefit which they're called the antioxidants. So that's why they're called superfoods, because they have the basic vitamin, the nutrition that they provide, but on top of that they have health benefits. And dive into it. So by definition, functional food or medicinal food or superfoods are defined as foods that, in addition to supplying their nutrients, can provide the other health benefits too. And these health claims on these products do require FDA approval. So that is, Food and Drug Administration is the governing board for the U.S. that requires all these superfoods to go through a process that all the claims that they make, that for example, so they do require their approval, and not, again, to say not all the foods on the labelings that you see a lot of times have gone through approval, and in the bottom they will say that not gone through FDA approval. So they are in the process of getting approval, but they do require to be FDA approved. Herbs and spices such as ginger, garlic are also considered part of the superfoods because they have a lot of healing properties. Yeah. And I know, as Jane is, we don't eat ginger or garlic, but I do have a slide just to quickly go over it. But again, in being in the Derasar and being part of the Jain community, we do not promote, or we do not want people to have ginger and garlic, but there are just some beneficial things that some people may be having it. So I just put in a slide just for the purpose of it. Food sources such as turmeric are also considered generally safe. And herbal supplements are one type of the dietary supplements that are now, if you see in Trader Joe's, Wholesome Foods, Costco, you get a lot of capsules. You get I actually saw even turmeric capsule somewhere in one of the health stores. So they are, a lot of them are recognizing turmeric being an Indian spice, having its health benefits. And everybody probably has heard what omega-3 fatty acids are. And omega-3 fatty acids typically are found from fish or fish oil supplements. But again, for vegetarians, there are a lot of sources that are can be found, which are a part of the omega-3 fatty acids. So to get omega-3 fatty acids, we do not have to have fish or fish oil. Now, I mean, back then, years back, they said, in India, we heard everybody having cod liver oil capsules, and because that is omega-3 fatty acids. But now with research and more advanced findings, we found a lot of other products have omega-3 fatty acids, which I'm going to go over. But the benefits of the claims are that it lowers blood pressure, it reduces the risk of death by heart attack and abnormal heart rhythms, it reduces strokes, prevents heart disease, inflammation, helps with the GI disorders, and also in organ transplantation. So a lot of patients who do get kidney transplant, we always recommend them after the transplant to actually be on omega-3 supplements, because it does kind of help to maintain the immune system and also helps with the kidney not getting rejected. And also with rheumatoid arthritis, a lot of the doctors are recommending them to take omega supplements, because omega-3 fatty acid, basically, if you know, in arthritis, there's a friction between the ligaments and the bones, so that's why it is causing that so much of joint pain. So the omega fatty acid basically reduces that inflammation, and it helps in, the joints functioning smoothly. So that's why it's a very well recommended supplement to take when you have arthritis, in along with taking your aspirin that they generally recommend. So the facts and the contraindications for omega-3 fatty acids are that the scientific evidence suggests slow buildup of atherosclerotic plaques. So does everybody know what atherosclerotic plaques are? So, basically when you have an artery with not proper diet, or eating diets that are really high in fat, in cholesterol, triglyceride, and just non-compliance in diet can basically, when you have, it's like a pipe, and you have all the deposits of fat getting inside that tube. So now if the blood is flowing through that tube, now because there are so many deposits, it's not going to flow freely. And that basically, that deposits of the calcium, the fat, the triglyceride is called the plaque. And when all your arteries are getting that deposits, it can lead into atherosclerotic heart disease, and that which eventually can cause strokes and heart attack. So now the science is saying that the omega-3 fatty acid can help prevent that. If you're taking that along with controlling, taking a low-fat diet, taking exercising, and taking this omega-3, it's going to help prevent formation of this. It also lowers the triglyceride levels significantly, also lowers blood pressure slightly. And it aids in the treatment of Crohn's disease. So Crohn's disease is basically an immune disorder. In Crohn's disease, a lot of your people cannot have, they always have GI problem. They're very restricted on certain diets. Their stomach is so sensitive that they eat certain foods, they're always going to get diarrhea. And basically their intestines are very inflamed inside. So they have to be very strict on a strict certain kind of a diet. And they have to watch out, because they're always underweight most of the time, because whatever they eat is not getting digested completely because their intestine is affected. So this helps in kind of lowering that inflammation. And reduces inflammation, especially helps with the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. So now there are obviously, with the good comes the bad when you're taking an overdose. So the contraindications are that if you take high doses of omega-3 fatty acid, can increase risk of bleeding. So if you're taking too much, if the doctor is recommending taking one, and you said, hey, I forgot to take for this whole week, let me just pop in 7 pills at one time, it's not going to work. Because everything comes, in a balance. Even with the supplements, with the medicine, we want to take it as prescribed. So overdose of it can cause bleeding. Although rare, may be contaminated with mercury, but this doesn't affect the vegetarian sources, because the vegetarian sources don't come from fish. This is particularly true for omega-3 fatty acids that are coming from fish. Because in fish, mercury has been found. The GI upset is common with the use of fish oil, so I'm not going to actually go into that. And then people who have fish or nut allergies should avoid omega-3 fatty acids, because the omega sources that for vegetarians do come from nuts. Yeah. So the types of omega-3 fatty acids that are for vegetarians are basically the ALA. It's a type of omega-3 fatty acid which is found in seeds, in vegetable oils like canola, flaxseed, and soybeans, in green leafy vegetables, walnuts, and beans. So that's why when I said if you're allergic to nuts, you cannot have walnuts, or you cannot, you have to be careful with having walnuts or almonds. Canola oil, flaxseed, soybeans are excellent sources of omega-3 fatty acid, and you can either have flaxseed in its actual seed form, powder it, or you also get flaxseed oil. Algae oils are also vegetarian source of DHA, which is a type of omega-3 fatty acid. And the algae oils actually have been approved by the Vegan Society. So they are considered a vegetarian source, and it's available in a lot of health food markets. It's available in Mother's Market and Trader Joe's and all those. They don't have a particular name. I'm not sure of a particular brand name, what it is, but they're, in the bottle it will say algae oils. And they have been approved by the Vegan Society. So, and then the flax and flaxseed oil, they're claimed as the modern miracle seed because they are high plant-based omega-3 fatty acids. They lower the cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, which is the LDL cholesterol, the triglyceride levels, and slightly lowers the blood pressure level. They also considered antioxidants and possible role in prevention of cancer, and they're still doing the research. And it also acts as laxative. I think back in old days, in India, they always used to give flaxseed, but they're called a different term in Gujarati. And they always used to give that when somebody had constipation. They would always give that as a laxative so that they can have easy bowel movements. It helps in Crohn's disease and colitis. Flaxseed oil is not same as flaxseed because the flaxseed oil is a concentrated source of the flaxseed. So you want to watch out. You don't want to have too much of the pills. If you're using the oil, you don't want to use too much of oil because that is a concentrated source, so you don't want to take too much of it. And it can be used in cereals and salads, and actually it's a great substitute for baking. You can use that as a substitute. A lot of vegan restaurants and vegetarian restaurants, and when you're baking, they're using flaxseed as a substitute to make cakes and cookies and all that. And the flaxseed oil is not recommended for cooking as it breaks down with heat, so it can be used as a salad dressing. The same way as olive oil is not recommended for frying. You can use it for cooking, like when you're doing sauteing and doing all that, but you do not want to use olive oil for frying because it breaks down with heat. So the properties, and when it breaks down, it basically becomes kadu. You do not want to use that for frying. Foods we hear in the health foods, we hear about Greek yogurt. So Greek yogurt is a type of probiotic that is very well researched, and it has a lot of health benefits. They have the friendly bacteria, the good bacteria, which are called the lactobacilli, which help with basically improving a digestion. And that is available in even the regular yogurt, but in the probiotic yogurts or the Greek yogurt, they add more of these kind of bacteria, different strains of these kind of bacteria, which helps in aiding digestion better. And they are basically, I don't know if anybody has heard of unfermented milk called Yakult. It's in the small bottles. And they are the highest source actually of probiotics, even more than the Greek yogurt. And it's actually in Mediterranean countries, they actually use this as their breakfast item. They drink that for the first thing in the morning, even before they have their regular breakfast, because it's the highest source of probiotics. And we want to have those good bacteria, because what happens over a period of time, we are taking so many medications, we are taking antibiotics, we are taking medications for blood pressure, for diabetes. So what happens, the good bacteria in our intestine gets killed by all those medications. So we want to introduce back the good bacteria so that they can help build our immune system, help us fight against disease conditions. So definitely yogurt is a big thing, and especially now with the introduction of Greek yogurt. And I'll tell you why Greek yogurt is much better than the regular yogurt, because it helps to treat diarrhea, it reduces the recurrence of bladder cancer, it boosts immune system, and one cup, that is the 6-ounce cup of the Greek yogurt, has typically 15 to 20 grams of protein, which is an excellent source of protein for vegetarians. Because if you are having 1 cup of Greek yogurt every day, you almost had 1/3 or half of your protein requirement for the day. and which is excellent. Yes.
In Greek yogurt, they don't put anything like gelatin or anything. It's pure vegetarian.
Most of them are. Chobani is a vegetarian. Phage is vegetarian. Sometimes the Activia yogurt or the Dannon ones do have gelatin, so you have to read the labels. But Chobani and Phage for sure are vegetarian.